Hey, welcome back to Reloading Journey, Reloading Hunting Journey, Reloading Installing Scope Journey, Reloading Review Journey. The channel's growing. I'm not shooting as much as I was, so the reloading's not happening as much. That will be a big part of the channel. I'm still keeping up with that, but I'm going to add different stuff, and I enjoy doing the videos. I'm going to keep going. Right now it's 152 million degrees outside, so we're not shooting a whole lot. Started a new job. I go to work at 4 in the morning. By the time I get off, it's hot. So with that being said, I'm still gonna be making videos. Things are gonna be changing. I'm gonna bring more to you than just reloading. So today I'm gonna be adding a scope to my Ruger 1022. This was my dad. It's the Takedown. This was one of my dad's guns. He really liked this gun. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. But I have his gun. I'd rather have him here, but at least I got his gun. So I already installed the Picatinny on it. I'm not going to lap the rings or anything like that. So I would recommend, if you're going to do this, at least spend decent money. I saw some really cheap, $5, $8 Picatinny rails. I wouldn't do that. This one was probably, I think it was like $28. I've seen them up to 100 plus, Get a decent one so you know it's going to be flat, straight, spaced right, everything's going to be good, and you should be fine, especially on a scope like this. I'm going to be using the Tipton Ultra Vise, the Bog Infinite, DeathGrip Infinite tripod. I'm putting on the Wheeler, the high ones, the Sporter rings. I'm going to be using the Wheeler for leveling the scope as I put it on, the Wheeler fat wrench for torquing down my screws, and the Wheeler professional gunsmithing kit for the tools. And I'm going to be installing the Crimson Trace Brushline. I had it memorized, but I knew I'd forget it, so I got this down here. It's a 3x9, the BDC Rimfire. It's specifically made for a Rimfire 22 or 17 or whatever, but that's what I'm going to be installing. Give me a second. I'll set all this aside. We'll bring the scope over here. We'll open it up, show what's there. We'll go over that real quick, and then we'll go over installing it. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. And I don't know, I'm redoing this part for the second time because I don't know if I said in the opening on this if it was a 3x9 or a 4x12. I think I said a 3x9. It's actually the 4x12. So it's the Brushline 4x12 by 40 BDC Rimfire. So let's go ahead and open the box and we'll show you what's in it. So you've got, make sure you got it right side up. I don't. Got a rag for your glass. You've got your user's guide, which looks like somebody nibbled on because my dog got a hold of it. Better it than the scope though, huh? More of the user's guide, and then the scope. And if you're watching this and it looks a little different when you get yours, it's because mine's been open. I can't remember exactly how it went back in, so I just put it back in how I do it. So that is the scope. Good looking scope. Nice feel to it. Not cheap feeling at all. Feels very stout, very well put together. Now what we have here is and yes, I'm reading it cheap because I'm not very smart to remember all this stuff. So Brushline 4x12 by 40 BDC Rimfire, and let's tell you a little bit about what that is. So the Crimson Trace Brushline 4x12 by 40 scope with the BDC Rimfire Reticle has been optimized for small game hunting. This scope boasts a 1-inch tube made of aerospace grade aluminum, making it lightweight yet durable. It has passed extensive environmental testing and is nitrogen purged, waterproof, shockproof. It boasts MOC coated ALD glass, and the aggressive knurling on the magnification ring and turret ensures effortless adjustment. All Crimson Trace scopes are covered under lifetime warranty and is backed by their award-winning customer service. So now on to some of the stats on it. Magnification 4x12, reticle, CT custom, BDC Rimfire. It's a second focal plane. Material aerospace aluminum. Eye relief 3.5 inches. Objective lens diameter 40. Tube diameter 1 inch. Click value, it's half MOA clicks. Tourette's capped. Illumination no. Overall length is 14 inches. The weight is 16.2 ounces. Lens coating green multi-coated. Rear mounting length 2 inches. Front mounting length 2.4 inches. Windage range is 65 MOA, so you got quite a bit. Elevation 65 MOA. Side parallax 50 yards. Zero stop, no. On to the next stuff. Now, the reticle on it is the BDC, and I know I read that in here, BDC, drop compensator, and I can't remember what the B stands for. I'm horrible at this. My memory just ain't what it used to be. I'll read it right back up. Duh, bullet drop compensator. Bullet, B, duh, B. Okay, so what that works out to is how that looks is your reticle looks like this. And I'll put a better picture up here for you. So you've got your crosshairs, and then you've got your A, B, C, you've got other hash marks going down. Now those are your holdovers. It's set up to, provided, this is for a 22 caliber, and I'll put this up there, muzzle velocity 1,235 feet, so you want your bullets to be close to that as you can. Bullet weight 36 grains. Ballistic coefficients, whatever, that's G1, that's a little above my thing, but it's there. You can see it right there. Now you're ranging this at 50 yards. That's where you set your zero range. Temperature 59 Fahrenheit, altitude 2,500 feet, scope height over bore 1.5 inches. That's what those are the metrics you want to try to hit to have it be, that's what they set it up for. So as long as you're close to that, it should work. So you sight it in at 50 yards. Each one of your holdovers. So you go to A, 60 yards, B, 70 yards, C, 80 yards, all the way out to F, 110 yards. And you'll see those, I'll put that picture up, should have it up here. You see the different. So that's really nice, makes it really easy. And that's something we will be testing out in the field. Once I get this on, I'm going to be doing another video to where I will take it out, we'll go ahead and zero it and test those. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start. Let me get the stuff up here and we'll go ahead and start getting this ready to install. All right, so now you've got your scope. Now you're going to be leveling off of something on this, which I'm going to do it off of not my cap, because the cap, as you turn it, can change. But this should be level or parallel to the bottom. Now, this is the only part that is stationary, stays the same. It's built on your scope to be parallel with your horizontal reticle in there. Your line in there should be horizontal with this here. So we want to check that. So you want to have something, luckily my table this way is level. So now I can set this on here. Now I'm going to check it with the top of my turret there, and that's perfectly level. So now I know that I have a horizontal plane here and here. Both of these are running perfectly parallel, a parallel plane. So now when I put it on the gun, I know that as long as I'm getting this turret, which is nice, it's magnetic, as long as this is level, then I know my reticle is going to be level. And if I have my gun level, we're good to go. And we'll go over that here in a second. So that's where you want to start. You want to make sure you've got that, something on here. You could do it with your turret cap on there. If it comes out level, just don't turn it, because it might you know, it's not gonna be milled perfect. This should be, and that's the way I do it, so. All right, so we know we've got that. So now let's bring the gun up and we'll get started on it. Okay, so now we've got our vise up here. We want to go ahead and lock the gun in and make sure that we get it level. Now, depending on what you're doing for this scope, everything I've researched and everything, you know, on this gun, I'm not shooting long. Well, hopefully that's still level. I'm not shooting super long range. I don't have the, this shouldn't matter so much. Level this way, because it should all just be level. Whenever I put these on, I can't adjust them one way or the other, so it is what it is. So you can go ahead and level the gun in this way, but it's not important. Now, I did see some of the long range, they run these at, they have a pitch to them or a certain degrees to them. Now you'll want to make sure, but that's a whole nother deal to deal with. We're just going to worry about, I mean, I got it level there. I like it. It looks good, but not very important. I want to make sure the gun is level this way. So we'll go ahead and lock it in front and back. Now what's nice is with this vise is once you get it close and it's in there good, now you can just fine tune it by tightening down some of these, and you can force it one way or the other and get it perfect. And that's perfect right there. So, and that vise is holding that. It's not going to move on me. If I don't do anything drastic, boom, still level. Now we'll take the other part, and I'm sure these have names, but I'm just going to call it the other part, scientific name. I'm going to throw this on my barrel. Tighten it down, eyeball it as I'm tightening it, get it level somewhat close. Now, double check this. Yes, I'm level. This is tight, it's not going to turn on its own. Now you've got a fine tune adjustment here on the top. So it's holding the barrel tight so the whole thing won't turn. And then you can just adjust that top part of the level, and you'll want it level. And boom, I'm level here, and I'm level here. Good to go. Now we'll move on to putting the scope rings on. These are my rings. Like I said, I got the high ones. Go ahead and see if we can find the right bit. They do come with the kit. The Wheeler kit does come with an Allen wrench, but I've got this nice kit. I may as well go ahead and use it. There we go. Now you'll want to make sure, I don't see any marks on these showing which way this top ring went. Sometimes you'll have like a hash mark that crosses both of them, so you know that this is the top of this and the ring. So just try to, whenever you take it apart, try to set it in a way that you'll know how it came off. So you can put it back on the same way, because that's how it's milled and that's how it's built to. So I'm going to be putting this on this way. This comes off this way, so I'm just going to set this in the tray that way so I can pick it up, put it right on. It's wandering on me everywhere. All right. All right, let's go ahead and set the first one on here. And I'm just spreading these out as far as I can. They should be fine. I may need to adjust them and move them in if need be, but I'm going to go ahead and just test it like this. And if it works, great. Now when you tighten these down, you want to tighten them down, push them back as hard as you can. If there's any slop in there at all, you want to have it pushed. You can see there is a little bit there. Have it pushed to the back. Or I'm sorry, to the front. Have it pushed to the front. Because when that gun recoils, when that gun goes off, that snap back, if it's loose, could move your scope rings forward until they bottom out. Go ahead and push them forward, lock them in there, then tighten it down. And now as the gun recoils, it's not going to adjust your rings, if that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, I don't know how else to explain it, because that was pretty basic. You know, that was one step away from me pulling out the Crayola crayons and the markers and going over it. All right, same thing with this one. I got it off. It's going to go on this way, so I'm going to set this in my kit this way so I can just pick it up and put it right on. Again, put this on. Push it towards the front of the gun. And for now, I'm just going to finger tighten them until I know for sure. And then I'll bring out the torque wrench and torque them down. So now we've got those set. Now we want to set our scope. I like how this sits in here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and throw these on. Without dropping my screws everywhere, I hope. Now, don't tighten these down all the way yet. You still want this to move for two reasons. One, you want to set up your eye relief once you get behind the gun, and that's what I'm going to use the tripod for. And two, you want it a little bit loose so you can preset your level on the scope. Also, when you do this, you always want to have your magnification all the way up when you go to do your eye relief. So now I'm going to go ahead and take it out. My level's still set up so I can put the gun back in after, and I know it's going to be level. Now I'm going to go ahead and take it out of here. I'm going to go ahead and throw it on the gun vise. And just check my eye relief. So it says 3.5 inches. So you want to be able to just get behind the gun and have it be, and that right there is good. So when I'm just come get behind the gun naturally, I'm there, I'm not hunting back and forth all over for it. I would like to have a pad on here to get my level, because I do have to worry about that. I wanted the high because I think that's going to give me my distance, my 1.5 inches that it calls for. So I wanted the high ones. So my cheek well isn't really pushing on here hard. So that can change a little bit, but it's a 22. But my main thing is I'm not hunting back and forth. Just as I come behind the gun, I'm seeing a full circle. I'm seeing everything I should see. So with that done, I like where it's at. And you never want to have it all the way forward to where it gets into this bevel, to where it starts the angle up. You never want it against that, and you never want it all the way against here or either of these. Because if it does move a little bit, or you get too much on there, you start crimping down, you're gonna mess up your scope. So just keep that in mind. So now we'll just throw it back in the gun vise, get it level again. And let's say you can't get it perfectly level. Let's say it's touching one side. As long as this is doing the same, you're good. But I am nice and level. And nice and level. So there, now I've adjusted my distance here. I can't think of it right now, brain fart. It's level. Everything is good. First off, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. I got to check and see. I didn't see what the torque specs were on these. Let me find out that torque spec and I'll be right back. Okay, now I looked through Crimson Trace's literature. I did not see anything on a torque recommendation. You generally will have a torque recommendation for your scope and one for your scope rings. You always want to go with the lesser of the two. If your scope ring says 16 pounds and your scope says 15, do the 15. You don't want to crush that tube. 15 pounds is what the Wheeler scope rings call for. I'm good with that. 15 pounds is pretty general. I don't see that being an issue for the scope. So I'm going to go ahead and go with 15. Now, something I did forget to do as I was putting these on is Loctite. Now you can do just regular blue Loctite, and I've used that on my red dots and stuff, and I have had them come free. I saw somebody online, they were using this, and it is, let's see if I can get a good picture of that, and I'll put a picture up. It is Vibratite VC3 Threadmate, and the way they explain it is it helps lock it down. It locks it down, but it doesn't get hard. Where Loctite will get hard, it dries, and with the shock of that recoil, which you're not getting really on a 22, but on my red dots, on my guns and stuff like that, that shock can break that. A lot of times when you go to break something free, you're hitting it to do that shock. Where this stuff, it dries, but it stays kind of gummy, and it will give a little bit and then pull back. It's like a tree. A tree isn't fully rigid. So when the wind comes, it can bend a little bit, bend a little bit. If that tree was fully rigid, when it went to bend, it would just break. Same thing here. This will give a little bit and then pull it right back so it doesn't break and come loose. Also, he said that, you know, you could take these off and put them right back in with that same Loctite. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I won't make you sit around and watch me, but I'm gonna go ahead and put those on now. Now they recommend you put the Loctite on it, let it set for a couple minutes, and then put it in. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll be back. Okay, everything is Loctited, screws put back in. If you're an impatient person, as I am, it actually says to wait 10 to 30 minutes before you install the screw. That's 10 minutes was long enough for me. This is no wait, put it in, but I think it'll be worth it. Well, on this gun, not so much. I mean, 22 is not a whole lot of recoil, but for the bigger guns, this is definitely, I think, a good idea. So we are, let's get this back. Come on. Let's go ahead and get that back to level. Let me go ahead and back these off a little bit and level that a little better. I hadn't locked them down yet, but so that's level. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Too much. There we go. Now, as you're tightening these down, so you want to do, and sometimes I didn't see it on the, let me check. All right, I'm back. Now I didn't see on, for the wheelers, sometimes they give you a recommendation on the order to tighten it all down. I would still go across here, there, not, and then don't do, you know, just like you would do on your lug nuts on your car. You know, you skip, you don't do one right after another. Go from here, there. So, that being said, oh, also the wheeler rings also work for the Picatinny or the Weaver mounts. They can be adjusted to work with either. So now we are going to go with torquing them down. Now they call for 15. This is the Wheeler fat wrench. It's the manual. I gotta, don't get old, guys. If you're not old yet, don't do it, because actually I'm sure you guys can probably see my eye is, or which eye is it? I don't know, I'm backwards. One of my eyes is blood red. I don't know what happened. I think my wife may have hit me in my sleep or something. I got you now. 15 pounds. Just turn this right up to 15 pounds. Boom. Yeah, my whole eye. I woke up one day, went to work. One of my guys in the field was like, "Hey, what happened to your eye? It's red." And I was just thinking a little bloodshot, you know, a little red here and there. I was like, I don't know. I took a shower this morning. Maybe I got soap in it. Then somebody else said something. I'm like, yeah, it's just a little red. I don't know. And then I got in my truck and I looked up in the rearview mirror. Holy shit. It was just, aside from my cornea, you know, for my blue part of my eyes, everything was just blood red. I don't know what the hell happened, but. So as you tighten these down, don't torque them in yet, but watch your level. Because as you tighten these down, it can pull it one way or the other. So you might have to, if it pulls it too far, you might have to loosen it all. Take your ball, instead of having it dead center, move it to one side a little bit, so as you tighten it, it pulls back to where it naturally is going to be. Yeah, see, I can see it pulling back and forth. So hopefully I get lucky and I don't have to adjust it. And I can just go ahead and torque these down. Let me get these. All right, so we're good and level still. Let's go ahead and put a little bit more on these before I finally go to the torque. Just make sure you're staying level. We're all good. So now we'll go ahead and torque them. Easy, easy, easy. Nothing to it. That wrench works great. I do have the digital F.A.T wrench, and I'll do a comparison between the two one of these videos. All right, everything's torqued down. Everything is nice and tight. Everything is level. Go ahead and put my cap back on before I lose it. Now the clicks on this are half MOA. I think I said that. And then you can lift it and return it to zero. Whenever you're zeroed, you can return them to zero. That makes it nice later on when you adjust. You can go right back to it. It doesn't have a stop where you can't remove it, put it back and stop to where if you turn out you can come back and, but anyways, let's go ahead and take everything down and have a closer look at it. Where did I put my, oh well, we'll sit it right here. Man, with these kits, it's nice that everything has a place and the handles with it, everything. I really like these Wheeler kits. Nice. I gotta get, like I said, I gotta get used to the height because it doesn't, it's high enough to where I'm not really, you know, maybe that's something I'll add to this in the future, but that's that. Let me see something. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, never mind. That is it. All ready to go. Looks good on there. Looks high as hell, but we'll mess with that. Maybe I'll change the other ones, but I'll see if this is, see how it does with the BDC part of it, the bullet drop compensator. So that is installing it. Next we'll take it out and shoot it. We'll go ahead and sit, God. We'll go ahead and zero it, and then we'll try the holdovers and see how that goes. Thanks for sticking around. If you stuck around this long, if you didn't, you're a jerk. Good thing you're not watching this. You don't know I called you a jerk. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.